Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the KO version of Optimus Prime. Now, this one does have a couple of the changes, the alterations, and not 100% I would call those improvements, but it is different. Some people are going to like the changes on it. We're going to get into talking about that, but I did get this at Show Z, and you can get yours there too. I'll have a link down below. Overall, I do like this guy, so let's get into it. Coming up. All right, so here's the packaging. It is a brown box special. It is packaged like this, and you can see all the good stuff that it comes with. It's pretty cool. It's great. Gets the job done. But yeah, it's gotten cheap on the packaging, and I'm okay with that because it does translate over into a lower price. All right, so let's get into looking at all of his accessories real quick. And the first thing I want to talk about is this back piece. This is supposed to go for Starscream, and it can go on him if you want to. Now, what I think the reason they included this but not the Starscream head is because it's already on the spruce. It's already going to get produced. They're already going to be pouring the plastic into the mold. This piece is going to come out. Why throw it away? Just give it to us. That's really why I think it's in there. Next, we get into these other two heads, so let's put them on and do a quick comparison. Okay, so here they are on him, sort of. Now, these are different than the MP-44. The official one, you literally just slid the head off and then slid a new head on. These are full-on heads. They have that whole piece there. Then you really have to pop it off the ball joint and pop it back on, and I don't suggest doing that very often. So, I mean, I'm just not a fan of popping off of ball joints and stuff. But anyway, so you get the battle damage head, you get the standard head that's included, and you get this more, I guess, rounded head. I'm not exactly sure. The way the face piece looks a little bit different, so there's slightly different variations of the head, but I'm okay with the one that's on it. There you go. I'm sure if you want him to be dead and laying in a dead display, you'd probably put the battle damage head on him. That would probably work the best. Next, we're going to get into his gun. It's the standard gun. It does do the transformation gimmick, of course. He can transform it even while he's holding it. And it's got the standard tab that tabs into the hand and gets that job done. So nice looking. No real paint on it. I thought I saw one piece of paint. No, that's like a pin. That's like a pin that's in there. Never mind. So it's no real paint to talk about on the gun, and it's pretty standard, pretty common. He of course comes with the Energon axe, and this is again something else. They already made it. You never saw him use this when he was dead or when he was taking a nap. But so what we're going to do is work the hand off of here, and then we're going to tab this in like so. And you've got his axe. If it's something that you care for, or if that's something you need, that's cool. Now, this also, the next accessory is this here. Get that tab back in. So it just slides off. So the battle damage just slides on, it slides off. It's just like with the regular one. A lot of people have that question right off the bat, and this is now like I think the third KO. They all ship with that battle damage on it. And the last accessory that we're going to speak of is the backpack, and you get the blast effects. Now here's the thing with the blast effects. They don't light up like the other KO. So that's one of the cheap outs. So they're cheaping out with that, and then now we're going to see what else they're cheaping out with the back. Now the back is meant to be an improvement, but you lose the electronics. So if you like electronics, you got to get one of the earlier versions that have electronics. And if you'd rather have a smoother, I guess, sleeker back, then you go with this. Now, we just clip the backpack on, and he could get to flying around. So it does improve it with this backpack because when you have his jetpack on, it doesn't look quite as big. So, I mean, it looks a little bit better with the jetpack than, I say, the other versions. And yes, the blast effect does clip into the gun, so you can still use it in the gun, all that kind of stuff, if you're going to display dead Optimus Prime or sleep Optimus Prime awake. Let's look at a quick overview of paint on this guy, and then we're going to get into articulation. So with that, he does have some teal that you can see all around. And something that was interesting that somebody pointed out, so we've got some teal paint there. We have what looks to be transparent pieces of sort of teal looking there. And then we have these pieces, which I was told that's not paint, that's actually just molded that color. So that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. Nothing's scratched off. We do have some, so it's not chrome, it's just kind of a silvery paint here, and we have a silvery paint here, so that's not chrome. And it does feel die-cast. I think that is die-cast. And then right here, we do have some paint right there. So there's a little bit of paint here and there. Of course, we got these pieces here. I think they're painted too, yeah. So all around, not a whole lot of paint, but still looks pretty cool. It's mostly bare, but that's pretty much what you come to expect. You do have some red translucent on the chest pieces. And let's see how this matrix looks in here. Now, I want to say that it's much easier to open his Matrix chest piece than my MP-44. Just I don't know if that's just because the mold's starting to get some wear or what. I don't know, but I like that, though. I like that. I like it's a little easier. So that's what it looks like. It's kind of the same kind of silver paint that we saw on the pipes there, and it's got what looks like kind of a metallic painted red for the center of it. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Looks good. Looking at articulation, I think it's pretty much the same level of articulation that we have with the MP-44 mold. The head can do all this kind of stuff right here, and then side to side, and you can get up and down, and it works around. You do have the good butterfly. It's better on that side than this side, but anyway. It's got a good butterfly in there. However much you want out of it goes way up, and it's got two joints there for the shoulder. And then, of course, the 360, nice, well ratcheted, bicep swivel, double jointed at the arm, giving you that much. The hand, now the hand itself, it's okay. It's a decent hand. It will give you, let's get the light on that right, an opposable thumb there. And that's all that one really does. You do have a pointer finger, and then you've got the other three, which is fine because really, all I really do with them is have them hold a gun. So that looks perfect for like trigger finger. Okay, does have this ab crunch. And so again, on the original, this is something that's like real hard to get it in and out. Pop it in, pop it out. It's either fixed, improved here, or something. So that is an improvement from the original. And so I like that. You can kind of get anything that you want here, depending on if you have that tabbed in all the way, you can only get so much. Untabbed, you get all this. So that's how you want to go. That's how you want to go. They still maintain the hiding hip flap gimmick. I like that, the hiding hip flap gimmick. And you can go, all right, the knee. We're not to the knee yet, but I mean, it just kind of happened. The knee works great. Leg out to here. Can't wait to get to the knee. Everything holds really well. It also just feels a little lighter than the original too. So that might be helping. Now this piece here always seems to want to come out. It just doesn't tab and stay in. But with the knee, no problems. You can just do whatever you want. No failure on the knee at all whatsoever. I think they fixed whatever the issue was with the knee problem from the originals, and some of the early KOs still had some knee problems that mine have, but that stuff is fixed. Now getting down to the foot, you've got down, around, kind of everything you'd want with a foot, articulation. So, good articulation. They fixed the hardware that were issues in the early ones, which is a good thing, and now flat back. So, we'll see that in comparisons. So getting into some comparisons with the silver-legged KO, they did change a lot of the colors around, and it's real interesting how the same mold can do so much. And so one of the things I wanted to look at was the shininess. Well, it actually looks like this is shinier than this one. The camera doesn't really pick that up, but it does look like, I would imagine it's the same silver paint. It just looks shinier to me. The backpack is thinner, and then you can kind of see the difference in the backpack. But you lose what I think is one of the coolest features. So I like the electronics. I do. I would prefer to have them with it. So I'm glad I jumped on them early in the early ones. Could have been an interesting addition, but they chose not to. So Here they go straight from the back to the back. And it does, the lighting, trying to get the lighting on it, it does kind of still have kind of the same curvature to it. It looks like it's got that whole speaker setup, but it's just, there's no holes for the speaker and all that. And it does look like this is up higher. This backpack is lower, this backpack is higher. So really, at the end of the day, I don't know if they're going to make more standard-looking Optimus Primes using this, or if they make a standard-looking Optimus Prime, will it go back to a backpack? I don't know that, but it just seems like they're trying to figure out how to keep the price down. And again, I need to make a video about price, because everyone keeps talking about why prices are going up, and everybody's wrong why prices are going up. I really need to talk about that, but that's not today. Okay, so here he is next to Magic Square, which Magic Square is getting a really nice looking, like a metallic, deep metallic paint job. I went ahead and got that. I pulled the trigger. You guys sold me on it. This one over here is the transform element, and it looks pretty good. So these are all great options. Again, if you pick any of the options that are out there for Optimus Prime, you really can't go wrong. I really can't bash Magic Square. He's a little bit bulky and chunky. This one over here, a little bit thin in the thigh area, but I think it looks great, and a pretty good paint job. Like, I was surprised that they painted some of the stuff more than I thought they would paint. And with this one here, you get kind of the mix, and yeah, pretty good. And here he is sandwiched between Megatron and the deformation space, Starscream, looking pretty good. So all around, you can kind of see the size, and still, again, I think the deformation is the correct scale for Seekers. Judge for yourself. All right, so here he is in his alt mode, and you know, I've done enough of these MP-44 transformations, but yet I still can't seem to get this to lay flat on it. But aside from that, it looks pretty good. It gets the job done. The backpack piece, now I was thinking the backpack piece was going to be a big deal, maybe a lot different, but it's not really a lot different. It's only a little different, but carries everything over from MP-44 in the alt mode, including the opening and closing doors, the side mirrors. There's not much going on inside there, of course, but it still carries forward. It works okay. So basically, you just sort of have more or less an opening here instead of it covering up part of the backpack, which is kind of what I remember the other one went. But so it's okay. It's a little looser right here, so it's not quite as solid right there. And I can't quite get these level, but I never really thought the back was that clean of this anyway, but it still looks pretty good. So it looks okay. It's a different color version of this. And of course, for comparison, I do have the standard, I guess. And so this doesn't have chrome. So with the first, is this the first? Maybe the second release of this KO. This one has chrome. This one does not have chrome. So that's how it looks. But still, it's all right. It's okay. And of course, if you have a trailer on it, you don't see all this crazy mess that's in the back that's going on there. So there's some pluses and minuses. But yeah, for the price point, for what you're getting, there it goes in alt mode. Like a half hour of work for a minute of footage. Here's a couple more comparisons real quick that you might want to see compared to X-Transbot's Cup and Fans Toys Blur. I don't know. Those might be quicker to transform than this guy. Yeah, MP-44 is not the fun. It's not a fun transformation. It just is a transformation. And I keep forgetting every time I transform it. Wow, it does take a bit of time. There's a lot of steps. So this is my look at the KO MP-44 version of the dark repaint of Optimus Prime, and I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I've never actually had one of these in this color scheme before, and I like it. It'll serve my purpose to have a dead Optimus Prime just around, and I know there's other parts of the lore that's used for it. But anyhow, they did make some changes to it, and the flat backpack and all that, and they did at the same time cheap out with taking lights out of the blast effects and a few other things that they did. But overall, I still like it. They do pass the savings on to the consumer, which I really do like. So keeping the price point low in today's world is a good thing. So I'm okay with that. I don't know if future releases are gonna be releases of standard paint jobs or more classic looking paint jobs with no voice box. So I'm not sure about that. Anyhow, I did get this. It shows you can get yours there too. You can get a multitude of other colors while they're still in stock. I don't know how long they'll last. I have a link down below. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this thing. But here, I'm hanging out.